Are the right-wing members of Prime Minister Netanyahu's government still talking about de-radicalizing Palestinians, ethnic cleansing, mowing the lawn from the river to the sea? And if they are they prepared for the sacrifice the Israeli people would have to make in order to even attempt those lurid goals?
Well, I don't think so. As you probably know, I wrote a little bit about this, and for multiple reasons. One is because the aim, which I think really goes back to those days of the Hudson Institute and the neocons at those times, who sort of persuaded the authorities in the US at that time that it was possible to have a form of perpetual revolution in the region, where there would be one regime change would follow another, which would follow another. This was all set out in the clean break strategy that Worms and others, part of Stuart Jackson's Senate aides, put together with Netanyahu in '76. And it first of all postulated the defeat of Iraq and of Syria, but a form of perpetual revolutions that would emplace the American, if you like, ideal in the region. And that was done and presented to Netanyahu. So, I mean, the idea that he's not part of that network is just not true. He was in it. It was very much part of his idea. Now, is that feasible? No. Is that feasible? They don't have a big enough army. And what they've done is to try and substitute, if you like, Israel has tried to substitute Western style of rationality, if you like, the rationality of the rationality, the mechanical rationality of the West, by moving it to a sort of Talmudian base of epistemology, and a biblical base of epistemology. But the young Israelis are still, I mean, postmodern young men with their TikTok, and they don't have a great capacity. The whole of postmodernity is to put, saving life first. Suffering is not something that they welcome. Suffering is something you avoid. Suffering is something that has no meaning and has no value. And so these are the forces, and they're facing an enemy which does see meaning in suffering, which does see meaning in loss of life, and sees that as a means of that the bloodshed is terrible, it is ghastly, but it's something that that can preserve your people, even if you will not be there at the time. It is a very different type of thinking and a way of thinking. If you pit the two together, a small army, which is too small to try and do these, even to take South Lebanon and occupy, let alone to defeat Syria, let alone to go to Iran. I mean, it's madness. It's madness to think that that's possible, and particularly using reservists for your force who've been brought up in the Western tradition, which is all about, enjoying the moment of life, the condition of life, and to avoid suffering and to avoid pain as much as you can, to tackle people who have a very different vision of the world.